to the Zama Pulse. I'm Army Private Anna Thronson. Well, it's that time again. Just look out your window. I'll wait. You see it? There's another typhoon on the way. This will be our 7th typhoon of this 2016 season. They've named this Typhoon Shabba, which means hibiscus in Thai. As always, the folks here at Camp Zama are keeping a keen eye on the storm, making sure that decisions are made in a timely manner to keep us all safe. And even though the last few typhoons we've experienced have been neither growers or showers, you never really know what's going to happen with these things until it happens. So you should still be prepared. Make sure you have plenty of water and canned goods on hand just in case. In fact, if the safety days we've covered on this show has taught me one thing, it's that you should always have an emergency kit just for these situations. You can keep tabs on the latest news regarding Typhoon Shabba on the Garrison Command channel if you're on Camp Zama. And if you're not, all you need to do is check out the U.S. Army Garrison-Japan Facebook page. We'll put the latest information right there. Keep in mind, we post what we've got when we've got it. So if you haven't seen a new post regarding this typhoon, the post that's up is the latest information we have to put out. Let's take this moment and commiserate together. Say it with me now. When's it gonna stop raining? Because you know what? It's been raining like forever. And the rainy season, it ended on July 20th. July 20th. You hear that, Shabba? Soldiers and civilians at Camp Zama got a real treat when therapist and New York Times best-selling author Hal Runkle stopped by, graciously offering up seminars based on his best-selling books. The 3 talks he gave were based on 3 of his popular writings: Launching Hope, Preparing Our Teens for the Real World, Screen-Free Marriage, and his latest book, Choose Your Own Adulthood. Mr. Runkle is no stranger to the military, having spoken at more than 50 installations, more than 250 times worldwide.
The reality is the military life asks marriages to go through more than most.
Opportunities like this were made possible through the hard work from the folks over at the Army Community Service.
There's a lot of things that happen with the soldiers deploying, the separation, things like that that occur that may impact these families. But if we're able to provide a support service to them so that they're able to have the kind of a life support services, I mean, especially over here overseas, because they don't have extended family here, a phone call or a couple hours away like they do in the States.
And it's good to know that ACS efforts are paying off.
It's very challenging in some aspects because we have to both balance our lives together as well as our jobs and our responsibilities. And then being supervisors, we also have subordinates that we're responsible for. But the way we make it work is we utilize different aspects and the things that ACS gives us. So like the marriage retreats and things like that to help us grow stronger as a couple and put tools in our tool bag to help us develop individually as well as each other as married people.
If you were unable to attend one of Mr. Runkle's seminars, we've got you covered. Sitting down with him, we were able to ask what the one bit of advice he had that could benefit every one of us who was serving our country overseas. Here's what he had to say.
When you're stationed overseas serving in a different country, it can be very, very tempting to do nothing but long for home, right? My strongest encouragement, and so many of you do this already, but my strongest encouragement is to not be longing for any place other than where you are at right now. The home is not anywhere else but where you're at with your family right here. It's not defined by geography, and it's not defined by history. Your home is wherever you are with your immediate family. And so begin to embrace that. And so our home is not going to be defined even by architecture or the walls or I'm going to be here. And so that's my strongest message to military families.
The next ACS-sponsored event is entitled Oxygen for Your Relationship and will be held on the 19th and 20th of October from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the Firelight Lounge of Camp Zama Community Club. Don't miss it. Now finally, a bit of an announcement. Our little pulse is expanding. It seems like only yesterday it was but a twinkle in some bald PAO guy's eye. But soon enough, we'll be adding a sports segment to the show, so you'll be able to keep up with the latest local sports news and scores on a weekly basis. To celebrate, we bring you a taste of a sports story that goes back to the dawn of American military time. Army versus Navy. Our upcoming sports reporter, Lance Davis, has the details. Lance?
Things were sizzling up as U.S. Army MEDDAC-Japan took on friendly rivals from the Atsugi Health Clinic in a sports day showdown at Yano Gym here on Camp Zama, Japan. Zama's sure-footed soldiers kept things on an even keel for the sailors by offering up some sports in a place their seafaring guests would feel at home, the pool. But it was mostly the turf away from the surf where the main action went down. On the court, both setups and spikes led to a truly bombastic game of volleyball, and lickety split back on the very same hardwood for dunks and dives, the b-ball turning from friendly to fierce at the drop of a hat. Then they all did this outside.
4, 5.
Hey now, that soldier's eyes are not covered. But then neither are those sailors, so it really doesn't matter. What does matter in sports are those numbers that come at the end, and this story concludes with the Navy diving down deep and coming up with a decisive victory over their Army brothers. I'm Lance Davis, and the beat goes on.
Thanks, Lance. Make sure to check the Pulse for Lance's sports beats coming soon. And now it's time for this week's community calendar. And that's the Pulse here at Camp Zama for the week of October 3rd, 2016. I'm Army Private Anna Thronson. Thanks for watching.